Fancy seeing you here. Welcome to another episode of the Games We Play by Playcafe. My name is Leo.
I'm live.
We are with a very special friend of ours visiting us for Board Game Wednesdays. We have Benj. Benj, how are you?
Yeah, thanks for having me. Board Game Wednesdays and our board game of choice, Summoner Wars. I'm very excited to talk about this favorite hobby.
Not to age you, pero gaano ka nakatagal naglalaro ng board
Ay,
games?
nako. Well, hindi, medyo matagal na rin. Siguro if 10 years is matagal na for most hobbies, I've been playing board games since I was a kid though. Pero yung exposure ko with board games, modern design like that, maybe mga around 10 years or so.
So bata pa naman.
Yeah, medyo
Oo.
bata
So magkaka-generation lang tayo. Like
Yeah,
my-
I will agree. Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, okay.
So in case you guys are wondering what Board Game Wednesdays is, pinapanood namin ito pag Thursday, di ba? Thursday ang labas na itong episode na to.
Yes.
Tell them about Board Game Wednesdays.
So on Board Game Wednesdays, you can come here in Playcafe and play all the board games that we have in store. I think we have Pandemic, Ticket to Ride, Churo, and a lot more. So come by on Wednesdays. And I heard that if you play board games on Wednesdays, you get 10% off your drinks.
That adds up. So meron akong special drink, meron akong favorite drink. Sir Benj, you have a favorite drink here?
Well, I especially like yung kanilang, simple lang, yung kanilang chocolate drink na large na iced, non-coffee. Kasi yung coffee medyo, instead na ginigising ako, lalo ko inaantok. So I want to have my full attention when I'm playing so that I can give my opponents yung due competition that they deserve.
Perfect, because actually we also have new drinks and food na I saw sa menu.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm hoping for that because I'm here almost every day and I'm just rotating the same drinks. In case you're wondering, Playcafe is located in Upper McKinley, sa Tuscany. It's right next to Glen and Uncle Mo's if you guys are walking up. It's open from 2 p.m. to 2 a.m. And again, back to Board Game Wednesdays. Sir Benj, you said you've been into designer board games for about 10 years or so now. What games were big when you started to get into the hobby?
Akala ko hindi mo ko patatandain pero no, really. Well, I went back back nun sa days na nag-aaral pa ako. When the board game, when you say board games, it's all about chess, games of the generals, all that. So, pero nung when I really got into board gaming, that was the time na yung mga lumang mga gateway games that we all love, the classics like Carcassonne, like Ticket to Ride. It's already all there.
And they're still here.
Yes, and they're still there. Testament din to yung endurance ng the design, yung core philosophy of modern board gaming that makes board gaming more inclusive for everyone, for each skill group, for each interest, every theme that you could imagine. It's all right there. So
So of all of these, have you played any of those games?
I played Catan, and I don't play a lot of board games. Recently, ang pinaka na try ko is this.
Okay, so that's something Sir Benj and I can help you with, especially on a lovely Wednesday like this. Again, Board Game Wednesdays. That's the games that were in or that were big when you started. How about recently? Ano yung mga games that you put into rotation that you play with your friends?
I still play Magic after all this time. So Magic has been yung start ko into this kind of hobby. But then when I decided na I need a game that I can be able to teach to my wife, my then girlfriend, I want to be able to teach it to my parents eventually. So, and yung TCGs, while they're great and all, we know naman na hindi mo siya mailalabas in all types of groups. And there are a lot of themes that are more accessible to everybody than what TCGs would usually offer. And that would be yung mga tabletop games that we have. So we have
That's a fair kind of category, right? Na parang dapat makalaro ko to with my family, specifically my partner, and then eventually my parents and my siblings to make it really a game we care about.
Right, kasi when board games, it's important na, it's not just important na makalaro ka. We want we want to be able to engage with the game as a group. We want na makapag-develop tayo ng mentality na we all contribute to the experience, and that's something na hindi mabibigay sa ng mga other things like video games, the counterculture to video games to our devices. So board games give us the opportunity to disengage from that and to converge as people na merong we can be magicians, we can be mga creators ng mga railroad networks, we can be all that, and yet we would be able to see each other, their reactions, we would be able to immediately gauge yung fun for other people. And that's what board gaming really made attractive to me. It made me more confident with myself. It made other people more confident to engage with a hobby like this. When they see this, maybe they would be intimidated at first, but then if you try to trying to push them a little into the realm of kaya ko naman pala yan. These are things na kaya ko namang gawin, and they're not just for rich people or they're not just for the artistic people. It's for everyone. It really is for everyone, young and old.
Yeah, Life and I are notorious for having very small social batteries.
Yeah.
But because of games, parang nadadaan siya sa filter.
Actually, it's a good way for introverts to socialize then.
Yeah, I'm a self-proclaimed introvert, but because of games, parang I grew out of my shell. And eventually, like, you learn to just talk to people, even without the games, even outside of that.
Because you have a community na to talk about
Friends.
the games you play. You have friends, you have your family to talk about things that you enjoy together.
Yeah, so more on that, kasi I resonate with that so much. My girlfriend is paano ba? She's open to games. So, yun din yung filter ko. Yun din yung parang, can I bring this home and we can play this infinitely? What kind of games were that? But besides the ones that you mentioned already, nadaan mo dun sa filter na yun na parang, this is a hit.
Right. And when you buy games, it's an investment. I mean, of course, marami sa mga hobbies natin, if we really are passionate about something, we're willing to spend more for that hobby. But if we're going to go all in on a hobby, almost always iisipin natin who is it for. When we buy games, we do not just think mag-e-enjoy ba ako. We also think mag-e-enjoy ba yung mga tao na gusto kong bigyan ito. Unlike kunyari mag-video games ka, whatever's there, you just buy it, and then pag hindi mo nagustuhan, you just simply move on, and the next video games force us to be able to be able to curate the experience that we wanted under our own terms. There's no pressure for you to buy even more games. Although I guarantee you na pag nagustuhan mo yung board gamings, one minute bumibili ka lang ng isa, and then the next meron ka ng cabinet tas punong-puno na ng board games. But it is accessible in that way na hindi ka pinipressure to buy even more stuff. You can take your own pace, you can get into and get out of certain themes. Maybe you like Star Wars, Lord of the Rings, and sometimes, syempre, hindi naman natin laging iniisip yung mga bagay na yun. We would move on to other things, and then maybe we can look back and what if ilabas ko ulit yung games na to?
Yeah. Life's Pokemon cards are shaking. That one just keeps growing.
Yeah.
Parang Beyblade, nanganganak lang yan.
And honestly, yung mga, like Sir Bench mentioned nga, no, na parang, there are characters that we love that we can see sa board games. Like, for example, Exploding Kittens, meron siyang exploding minions, and like, you get kids to play that because may kita nila, meron minions, and it's easy to teach, diba?
So, Exploding Kittens is one of those games that is a winner amongst many kinds of groups, partners, siblings, families. What are some of these games for you, Sir Benj? Na parang nung dinala mo sa family mo or with your wife, it was a solid hit. Like, what are those games? What are your parang top 5 na parang, I really don't regret buying this?
Well, it's like choosing between your children, pero like I've said, we always go back to the classics. Parang maraming mga games, they will come and go. Some of them, paganda na paganda yung components, miniatures, and all that. But then we find ourselves going back to where things were simpler. Games like in the mentioned po ni Ma'am, Pandemic is always a solid choice.
never ages.
Whenever you bring Pandemic to a non-gamer table and they somehow it clicks and then they get invested. They get automatically invested and they feel bad kung nagkamali sila or kung nag-fail nila yung game. But that's okay. You can always play again. Things like Summoner Wars, Unmatched, mga games that that makes you think strategically, makes you want to manage your resources carefully. And of course, yung mga classics like Ticket to Ride, like Carcassonne. Yung mga games na yung mga games na although simple na siya because you've already sampled so many more complicated games, you will always those are the types of games na ilalabas mo pag may reunion kayo. Pag kunyari may outing kayo, pag meron kayong date, kung although siguro I guess tayo yung mga magko-consider na pagba-board game is a date.
Yeah, no.
It is a
fine,
date.
diba?
It is. It actually, she agrees. It is.
Normalize natin.
So, I'm gonna ask a question to kind of like tailor our board gaming conversation for
Right.
the viewers as well. Form or function? What do you look for in a board game? Do you want the visuals or the look of it, the feel of it to matter more, or yung mechanics na parang we engage this way or ito yung naging mechanics?
Strategy, yeah.
Yeah. So what matters more for you?
All of the above.
Pwede both?
Pwede both. Kasi I do have games na hindi ganun ka thematic. I do love me some abstract games. For example, my dad loves chess. He loves chess. He will not play any other game than chess. But then I find myself being drawn into war games, the ones with the miniatures, the figs. The mechanics, if like deck building and all that, sometimes the theme, it's the mechanics that's the star of the show, and that's what's clever about them, and not really the team that you're with. So, yung important sa akin would be what my next group would want to play and would want to play over and over. If it's something that if thematically I like it, maybe I will just get it for the sake of keeping it.
Because it's for you.
Right, it's my game and siguro ma-understand ng aking wife why she would have to play with these games for me, but then she ends up appreciating it because of gaano ka clever yung some of the mechanics. We have the abstracts that we have like Azul,
Crunch Euros.
yeah, simple Euros like Splendor, like even if yung kanilang theme is not as as involved or heavy as the other games, they're good enough in the sense na what you want is a balance between being able to pull players in and not be intimidated, because sometimes theme means complication, and when complication arrives, it nakaka-intimidate. People don't want to lose. People don't want to feel like they're not doing the right thing, and because they don't want to disappoint you. You brought the game, they don't want to disappoint you. So, kung theme versus mechanics, it's fair to say na I do lean towards some na may mechanics lang, and I do lean towards thematic wise. Pero it's really based on which group of people I'm going to be playing with.
To be fair, recently games have been good at balancing both. Na parang wala nang parang stapled, no more stapled on mechanics.
Exactly.
Life in your experience, what do you prefer? Like, gusto mo ba the game looks pretty or the game feels good to play?
I always want what's pretty, but I also like role playing. So I like games that are engaging, like me, to get into the game that I have a role. So for example, this one, like you are this and you get to bring this back. Like yung mga ganong mechanic ba. I have a role.
Yeah, to me personally, visuals and form will hook me, but strong mechanics will keep me playing. Like a game like Summoner Wars, right? A game like Summoner Wars,
Exactly.
it didn't look too pretty in the past, but it's still here. Like 10 years later, linalaro pa rin natin siya because the mechanics are good. That brings us to a highlight game that we would like to talk about that you can play during Board Game Wednesdays here at Playcafe. Amongst other titles na nabanggit na namin, Summoner Wars. Let's talk about it. It's published and developed by Plaid Hat Games. It was released like some 10 years ago. Hindi ko na maalala. But that was the first edition.
Yes.
Sir Benj, give us the gist of Summoner Wars.
On Summoner Wars, you play as a summoner. So as a summoner, you have powers to summon your army into the battlefield, and you also can cast spells. You can also influence the battlefield by playing some cards that would empower your troops or make it harder for your opponents to win. So the objective of Summoner Wars is for you to defeat the other summoner, which will be your opponent. And that's it. You don't have to. The goal is very simple. There's only one card you need to worry about, the enemy summoner. But how you get there, that's where the fun starts. That's where you need to manage a lot of things, and that's you're going to look at the battlefield and find out what's the best way to put your men, what's the places where you can put your men so they will be successful in that goal.
So it's a two-player game,
Right.
and it mimics yung mga real-time strategy games as a video game because you're playing units and you have to kill like just the other person.
Right.
Life, I saw you playing this the other day.
Yeah, it was my second time playing it.
It didn't look like it. It looked like you knew what you were doing.
Because it's easy to learn this.
They have multiple factions. Again, this is the second edition of the game. Talk to us about the factions. Like, how different can they be?
Well, up to now, I'm still amazed with yung design space that they were to be able to exploit, because with such simple mechanics, you just simply choose choose 3 units to move and 3 units to attack, and then maybe you want to play a card or two, and you do that until someone goes to 0 life. But then they were able to fit so much personality in each summoner. So in Summoner Wars, each faction will have their own strength that's unique to them. You will have Phoenix Elves, for example. They can deal damage directly to your opponents, into your opponent's battlefield. You can have someone like the Cloaks, who are rogues who want to work together.
Stealthy.
Oh, stealthy sila. They're not as powerful. They do not have that kind of raw power, but they're more powerful when you position them properly. And we also have maybe one of the latest factions, the Forged.
New.
Right. The twist is that there's only one. You only have a summoner. There are no other characters. What you put down are just his contraptions.
Voltron.
Yes. Naglalagay ka ng parang ka nagta-tower defense.
Oh, like
Naglalagay ka ng mga defenses, the mechanical defenses, ganun. They hindi sila like the traditional na dwarves and elves.
With units.
You have
Yes.
units.
So
Yeah.
with such limited na premise, they were able to create so much personality with each faction. They have very different ways to win, and they demand very different skills from different people. Sometimes you would be good in positioning, but sometimes they reward you for going for it, for just being able to, or sacrificing units mo to go for that kill.
Unlike another game that we talked about in depth here on the games we play, this game has combat, yes, but it has dice as
Right.
well. Life, how do you like that random part of the game?
I think it gives me benefit. Like I benefit from having dice because if my opponent is already a good board game player and they're unlucky, at least I have a chance.
Yes, I think that's one equalizer. Sir Bench, talked us through a little bit of the factions. May favorite ka ba so far?
So far, ang gusto ko yung may walls, Sir Bench.
Polar dwarves.
Yeah, because you get parang champions that are also gates that you can use to summon. So for me, that's good.
Okay, so you like spamming them on the board.
Yes.
Okay, she's notorious.
Magaling si Life kasi. I heard that it's one of the harder
Yes,
factions
yeah.
to
No,
master.
she likes to control the board.
Let's keep this between us. The first time I played, I beat my boss.
And he taught you the game. So, and did you use the same Tundra? What was that?
Yeah, I used
Polar
that.
dwarves.
Polar Dwarves. You use the same one. Use another army, please. Try something else. I in the past have played some games of second edition, but I played more of the first.
Right.
I am a fan of sand goblins because they're funny. They like to ride each other, and then they drop dudes off, and they're like little dudes, like one hit lang sila lahat. But it's like a swarm. And then I also like the jungle elves. Like they're more traditional elves, but they're like guerrilla warfare. Like mga ganun sila. So
Very mobile, and they can deploy yung kanilang forces nila fast and strong. My favorite faction, if there would be one, would be the filth. It's always been my first and
filth
my
is cool.
the filth. When I first discovered yung this faction, nung first edition pa, I fell in love. I've not I've always pinipilit ko siya against any opponent even if matatalo ako.
What does it
I
do?
do love it's based on Lovecraft horror. You are cultists. That is a good thing. You're cultists and you're instead of summoning your champions, you are in fact creating your champions. You are mutating your men and turning them, giving them tentacles, giving them flight. So you're making them stronger and they become your guardians.
Parang
Your champions.
So you build them up.
Parang body horror.
Body horror yung team. I am a long time Lovecraft reader, so they automatically resonated with me.
Yeah, so Summoner Wars, the way we've been talking about it for the past few minutes, it's a good mixture of form and function. Weirdly enough, it's a tight game with very good translation of the theme and a strong theme. Kasi bawat faction feel mo, they have their own
Very different.
unique identity. Could there be a competitive scene for a game like this?
I think this game is well primed to be a 1v1 head-on competitive type of game. Well, first, even if you end up just using one faction over and over, you will find that you will be playing it very differently when you're playing with someone else. Even
Gagaling
if
ka,
you
no?
just one deck, you're not just going to repeat the same thing over and over. When you're playing, kunyari, kalabang ko na yung Polar Dwarfs ni Miss Life, iba yung magiging laro ko versus yung inyong Jungle Elves.
Right.
So sa 1v1 aspect, the games are relatively short. If you already know the rules, if you already know mostly the cards din ng if your opponent, pwede siyang pang tournament.
Yeah,
And
games.
we've had tournaments before.
Yes, so in the first edition, the competitive scene was very much alive. That's what we're trying to do now. We're starting with Board Game Wednesdays, get more people introduced into this beautiful game, get more people used to it, get it out there again. Second edition of Summoner Wars. I don't know if you both agree. If you both know the rules, and then alam nyo na yung ginagawa ng deck ninyo, like there's less reading, games can end in 30 or less minutes, right?
Right. Yung maganda rin sa Summoner Wars is that you don't really have to buy a lot of stuff. I know in many competitive games na you're always compelled to be in an arms race with someone else. You need to buy this new thing. There's something came out. When you play with a faction, that's all you need.
That's it.
That's all you need. You just need to be good at it. Siguro kailangan alam mo na, we have an idea mo na lang yung dun sa ginagamit ng enemies ng opponents mo. But then once you have it, you could fill up yung days mo with it and you still feel that you could have done better. So in a sense, classically parang chess. I know it. There's some positioning element. Your pieces work differently, except na it's not symmetric. Your opponent will be doing something else. But then there are enough similarities na there are some fundamentals that you can master. And then yung faction dependent rules that are with you. If you're able to take a full grasp ng kanilang talents, what they're really capable of, then the game just opens up. And even if you face future factions, which Plaid Hat has been releasing, they have released a lot of factions so far.
Ilan na sila so far?
I think they're around 28 na yata.
Up to date.
Last na check ko, yeah, I think it's the Vekid, the latest, yung mga lizard men na sila.
Okay, so approaching 30 pa lang, and you only really need to get the singular boxes, the smaller starter with the 2 clans, or what is this? The master set, the second edition master set. Life, do you have any tips for would-be summoners in their first game, their learning game?
I guess you need to play with the simple summoner first. Personally, I think I should have started with the goblins because they're just aggressive and you get to learn all the mechanic that you have to learn first. And then you can play another summoner that resonates with you more after you learned the whole game.
So these guys over here, these little homies. Ano sila? What are they called?
They're the Cave Goblins.
Yeah, the
Cave
goblins.
Goblins, right. How about you, Sir Benj? What do you suggest? Who do we start with? Like another angle for new players.
If you're going, this is the master set. So if you want to start with Summoner,
It's the most easily accessible.
Yes, you want to have access to many factions right away. Then you need to get a master set. And in the master set, if you're a beginner, I would suggest the Jungle Elves.
These guys.
The Jungle Elves, because the Jungle Elves is all about putting your men down and making them strong.
That's it.
That's it.
Making them strong and making sure they stick to the battlefield. Yung actually ma-advance kayo, ma'am. Kayo po ay Polar Dwarves. It's a very methodical style of play that rewards patience, that requires you to know your cards very well, but I find them very strong. I find that they can dominate a battlefield like no other.
Live,
Excellent choice.
did you choose that?
Yeah, I like it because it's similar to other games that I play for Pokemon, for example. You know, I like playing. I like not letting my other teammates play.
Your opponents play?
Yeah.
Oh, see?
And it's fun.
Fun na hindi makalaro.
That's her, guys. Alam nyo na yun. Ako personally, you all know how much I love the goblins and the jungle elves. What are these guys called?
The Vanguard. They're what you would expect from a class that uses paladins and priests. They do a lot of healing, resurrection. They have ways to mitigate damage in the battlefield, and they have a lot of ways also to protect your people from your opponent's effects.
And so ako personally, I also grew up in Summer was playing this faction, and it's literally what you think. It's like the good guys, the light.
They work together.
Yeah, they work together, and then they kala mo mamatay na yung summoner, and then they heal it. Like, it's so annoying. But it's also good because it's fair because you see it coming, unlike people who block your way. So yeah, this is the starter set. This is the master set. I think it is still available in store here at Playcafe. If it's not, somebody bought it, so too slow.
But you get to play it here.
Sorry, bro.
You
Yeah.
come here on Wednesdays.
Yeah, there is a copy in store. So check it out. It's on the shelf. Once again, Board Game Wednesdays. Sir Benj, real quick, before we close up this episode, is there anything you'd like to share with people to prepare for Board Game Wednesdays? If they would come over, what can they expect?
Well, you expect that you will be playing with a lot of people that you don't know. So that means it may be a good idea to have a good variety of games. Especially, maybe at first, you should defer to the simpler games, and then from there, when you can create your own group, you can have a constant appointment with them to have a game session. That's where you ramp up your difficulty. That's where you can explore the more engaging, more thematic games like what Miss Life would prefer. She wants the role-playing aspect to be greater. And so that's how you go and graduate to the games that are meatier, that give you more investment in your victories. And you should, other than bringing a variety of games, maybe take a look in a lot of popular sites like BGG. Board Game Geek is a long time partner with board games. A lot of our information comes from that website. So you can't beat Board Game Geek if you want to just survey the landscape of the games that you might like and see if Playcafe offers it. And if they don't have it, you tell them what you need so that they can bring it for you.
Madaling kausap ang mga tao dito sa Playcafe. Life, you and I here almost every day. Any tips for people coming up for Board Game Wednesdays?
For Board Game Wednesdays, I guess enjoy your game with a drink because it already comes with a 10% off.
So I would get any of the coffees. Like legit na ikot ko na yung coffee menu up and down.
It's a good thing that they have some new stuff in the menu. You should check it out.
Dapat 10%
Yes, please. We could hope. We could hope. That's it for this episode of the games we play. Let us know if there's any topics under the gaming sphere that you'd like for us to cover. Pag-uusapan natin yan. On behalf of Sir Benj and everyone here at Playcafe, this is Life. My name is Leo. Sir Benj, can people reach out to you on social media if ever they want to set up a game day with you?
I am mostly available through yung yung communities ng Play Cafe. We have a lot of communities for different leagues. We have an unmatched community. We have Pokemon and MTG communities. So if you're there, you will most likely find me, or you will find someone at least who knows me.
Honestly, just come here. Sir Bench is almost always here.
Yeah, or reach out on social media.
Yeah, reach out on social media of Play Cafe. We are Play Cafe PH on Instagram and TikTok, and we're Play Cafe BGC on Facebook.
Kita Kits, once again, Play Cafe is located in Upper McKinley in Tuscany. Open from 2 p.m. to 2 a.m. So magdamagan na to. Once again, this has been the games that we play with Life and Leo, and of course our special guest, our good friend Sir Benj. We'll see you across the table.
Good game. GG's.